Hey everybody, you see the title right here. I'm gonna go check as I always do to see if I can hear myself. Let me turn off this sound from my phone. Gonna check and see if I can hear myself because that's very, very important that we can. Oh, here's an advertisement on the video. It's saying connect to see the stream. Okay, it's already starting. That's weird. All right. Okay. Okay, so I can hear it. But let's see. Hopefully this is now up on my side. Nope, it's not. So I might not be able to stop this stream unless I completely just turn this thing off. This is weird how it's doing right now. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for coming out. It's like doing something really weird on my studio section here. So hopefully I'm live to everybody else. If I am, smash that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section. We're going to try to see what's going on. Let me go to another tab really quick. This is actually the first time this has happened to me. So I need to make sure that everything is going okay. All right, let's do a little bit of this. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Legendary Super Saiyan Jackson. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Volume is like 3 out of 10 right now, brother. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better now. Let me see. Let me play this real quick. Let me see this. Is the volume better? Okay, yeah, it sounds pretty good to me now. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. It was because my I was away from the mic. I'm trying to move around here. But just in case, let me adjust this and it'll be a little bit higher even still. I don't know what's going on. So I literally, on my side on the studio section, it's not showing me this. So I might not even be able to stop this. So I found out, I guess, scheduling a live stream too many days in advance. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to continue because I know you guys can see the screen. I'm seeing it on my side here. So, yep. Always something going on. You said 4 out of 10? Yeah, that's... Okay, you say easily 7 out of 10 now. Okay, so that's about probably the as best I can get it. I can see the volume metric on my side. And then I'm hearing myself on the other side too. And I got headphones in. So this is about as loud as I can get. You said Jamaican hackers. Come on now. So anyway, as it is, am I being too hard on Jamaicans? First, let's do this. Because I'm moving in and out from away from my mic and everything. This setup is real janky right now. Let's see. First, let's start with this. This is in a Facebook group. As you can see, that's from Coach's Desk. Saying that Adi still has nightmares and that she still feels cheated out of that. Now, I could start there. I could start there and already say, yeah, you can feel whatever way you want, but the evidence is right there because I can bring it up on the screen. And if later on you guys want me to bring up the finish line images of where that photo finish was, then we can pull it. But first, let me start with this because these are the type of things I'm seeing. Here is a group. Here is a group that is led right here. Here's a Facebook. You guys can join it on Facebook. It's many other groups. This is not the only one. Track and Field Plus. All right. So this admin here, he's a Jamaican guy. He is an admin. King Naldo. He said every nation that ties with the USA loses, and this is no different. So he has that. He's talking about that. And, of course, people are going in the comment section, and they're doing their thing in the comment section. But these are the types of things we're seeing. I'm seeing this on Twitter, you know, formerly known as X. I'm seeing this on Instagram. At first, I said I wasn't seeing it as much, but as time is going on and more time has passed, it's like, dang, the Olympics already passed. Like, bruh, let it go. Like, let it go. It should have been let go then, but now they're bringing it up. They're splicing out images. This ain't even a complete image right here. And so now it's like, yeah, every nation that ties here. Then you got, let me see, this thing going on. let me talk about Alicia Johnson real quick as well. So there are some people that are calling her ghetto and things like that. And then when you ask them what specifically they're calling her ghetto for, they're gonna say, well, it's her nails or it's her hair, the hair color, the wig, some things like that. Um, they really can't point out because everything they're saying about her minus the nails, but actually you're starting to see some of the Jamaican athletes. You could say the same thing about Jamaicans. So this is why we keep saying it's an anti-black American thing, because Shelly Ann has a whole bunch of different wigs. Elaine has tattoos all over her body and wears wigs. And Sharika Jackson wears wigs. And as she said in the Sprint documentary, she's not really for the color wigs like that. They kind of talked her into that, but she's for the plain hair color ones. But if the wigs is the issue, quite literally, most non-black Americans wear wigs and they wear them at these races. So that's one. Two, if you're talking about the nails, about half your athletes are doing them, right? If three, you're talking about something else, maybe you just don't like their swag or something. That's what it is. You don't like their swag because they're more popular than what you're doing. And because she said she didn't want to come and compete in Jamaica, some people got their butts in a rump because some things happened. She didn't like how they were. Maybe you don't agree. There's some things I don't agree with the athletes, but then, over some time you can get over it. But they were saying, hey, this person's I remember they specifically said Johnson, Sha'Carri Richardson, and what was it, one other athlete, but they were all black Americans. Literally every single person they named out was a black American athlete. And it's like, what's the obsession that gotta be, no matter if you're Kenyan, you're Nigerian, because I'm gonna get to them in this video too. What's the obsession when many of your women are acting the same, and some of you in the comment section, I see some of y'all profile pictures, y'all literally, some of y'all have dropped a comment on some of these athletes, and I look at your picture that you have there, and then I'm like, wait a minute, but that's you. I guess you just want to troll online and talk to people, but then you're adding in to it. Now, I've said in the past, I don't like tattoos. It don't add to a woman, but these are athletes and they're living their own lives. What am I to say with that? But if I had a personal thing, and I'm saying this, yeah, tattoos, the wigs and all that, yeah, that can go. But from an entertainment aspect, hey, that's actually pretty cool. I don't think it's adding to them. Like I could bring in some other people, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bring up the actual people that were referenced. There are other people I can talk about, but I'm not. So here's where we're starting. This is where we're starting. And then I'm going to bring in more. We have also other Caribbean YouTubers, because Jamaica's claiming Caribbean, that are laughing at Britton Wilson, which has said nothing against nobody. And there's one Jamaican that are laughing at them about getting injured. Okay, so Britton Wilson has gotten injured 2 seasons in a row, and you think it's funny when somebody else in America. So it don't matter if they're your athlete getting injured. It's like, oh, they lost because they got injured. Oh, Blake Seville, he got injured this time. The other 2 times when he got 4th, he sucks. But this time, he was actually about to get a medal, even though he was darn near last place the whole time, or he was in the middle of the pack. He got injured this time, so I know he had a personal best in the semifinals, but he got injured in the finals, so he don't count. But then when Noah is sick and still gets a medal, hey, we got wheelchair jokes. We got all of these things trying to roast him, and all of those things happen. And it's like, where's the same energy at? You know? I know other people are doing it too. We're not going to ignore them. Like people from Botswana, people from Nigeria. Not so much I've seen Kenya, but Nigeria, Jamaica, and Botswana I've seen the most. And then just random, NBA, just those things. Those are the most people I have seen, at least on there. You said Prince got his nails painted. He was homophobic. All right. Islander, you said, let me start looking at that. Kenna, what's up? You said you got banned from I Love Track and Field's trash group for clowning on all the Jamaicans for crying. I'm surprised I'm not banned from some of these groups. Hey, they might ban me now because they can see that I'm doing it, and I drop images and stuff from the screenshots I post on here. At first, I didn't want to make any. I just didn't feel like promoting or anything like that. But now I just tell people, hey, you know what? This is my channel. Like, if I walk up to a McDonald's, get some fries or something like that. Hey, you know what? I got this. Blah blah blah. Here it is. Because in the past, I just wouldn't, but I do it now. So then you said, Kenneth said, the Jamaicans need to understand, and they do that. They are now where the U.S. was in terms of rebuilding. Let me make a comment here. Jamaica, as I saw, it was either Coach's Desk or Maverick. It was one of the two. And I don't really watch, but I saw their videos. One where Maverick, he was saying, we are like spoiled brats. And then Coach's Desk that said something along the lines of, I forgot what the title of his was, to be honest. But I saw those. And I normally, and I tell y'all this, I normally don't watch other people's stuff. I'm watching politics, geopolitical things, black empowerment stuff. That's what I'm watching most of the time. If I'm on YouTube, that is what I'm watching. If I'm on Instagram, it's a bunch of rabbits or it's athletes. Like, those are the things that's there, right? So I went out and said, okay, I'm gonna listen to these videos. Now, when I think it was Maverick, he said that the medal count for this Olympics is actually within the average of every other Olympics. When you look at the Olympics performances, the medal count is there already. And when I looked at it, it was above average. You had an extra medal or two than the average that he had calculated. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I even knew this. I knew it in the back of my head, but when he put the numbers there, let me take her off the screen and just put this here, because I'm going to go a little bit further, but I want to get this out of the way now. And then I'm going to talk about the other stuff that I've seen from Jamaica. Now, the medal count is slightly above average for Jamaica. And he went through, he said, we got 0 at this Olympics, 1 here, 3 here, 5 here. Okay. Basically, Usain Bolt was the difference, because before Usain Bolt, where was a medalist at the Olympics? Don't count world championships. Don't count that. In the 100 or 200 for the Jamaican men, I'm waiting. That gives you 2 guaranteed medals at 3 Olympics. So that's a boost right there. If you look at Usain Bolt for what he is, an extremely talented athlete that also put in the hard work, because even if you're talented, you don't put in enough hard work. Yeah, you may work less than other people, like Johan Blake was complaining about, but you got to put in the hard work to get there. That's a boost at every 2 Olympics. You had Shelly Ann that was performing, and then she still got medals even when she didn't get first. But you got a boost. You had a sweep in the 100 with Shelly Ann the first time. You had a sweep in the 200 with Usain Bolt the one time. But outside of Usain Bolt, you were not really getting too many other Jamaicans medaling. Asafa Powell finally got one. He didn't get one before at the Olympics. So that means Jamaica was not actually used to medaling. I forget the gold. Medaling in the 100 and 200. Those are 2 free medals with Usain Bolt there. Usain Bolt gone, 0 medal in 2021. There it is. 0 medal at the last one. Then there's a medal with Kashane. 0 medal in the 200 at the last one. 0 medals in the 200 now. So when you start to look at the events and say, okay, Jamaica's going to be there for the 4x1. We kind of trust them whether they're in the 100 or not, but that wasn't consistent. And we're talking about the men. On the women's side, the women came up into their own. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to Lance Brahman. He is a very consistent athlete here. Veronica Campbell-Brown won from a very similar position that Noah Lyles did now, and coached by the same coach. No matter the different athletes in different countries that Lance Brahman, I could go down a list of them, they kind of had that characteristic. We started a little bit back from you, and then we caught you, and then passed you, usually at a very last minute lean. Veronica Campbell-Brown did last minute leans a lot in her races. That is a characteristic trait of her coach that is the same one for Noah Lyles. So if you want to say, hey, somebody that trained like with St. Lucia, I'm about to bring that up on the screen. They say, hey, she trained here, so therefore she's Jamaican. Okay, Veronica Campbell-Brown trained a lot of her career in the United States. So maybe that, medal is American. Since the Caribbean is also part of the Americas, that also is a win. Every time Jamaica wins, that's a win for the U.S. Let's use the same logic here. You know, the Jamaicans got a little bit of American blood in them, so therefore, that's a win for America, you know? Shout out to the Jamaica. We could do the same thing, because that's how the phrasing of these sentences are. If we use your same logic, all of the wins in Caribbean actually belong to the United States, aka America, actually. You could say North America, but since we're going to be the center of attention, because that's what Jamaica has been doing, and this king guy, he is Jamaican, so he's been putting them out. So when I bring it up on the screen, you can't say, oh, that wasn't Jamaica. It wouldn't even make sense for somebody from Nigeria to say, oh, this was a little bit of Jamaica blood or a lickle. That wouldn't make sense. So we gotta, yeah, I am looking at profile pictures. I look at people like when that guy was calling a thing Mo ugly. I brought him up and I roasted his ass with Mr. Potato Head ass. But anyway, getting back to this. There is no surprise here. So when somebody says that the United States always wins, let's bring this fool back up here. This is the admin of the group too. So now when you start getting idiocy like this, when you start getting people that just lie, I'm going to go down some of his posts that's in this group. He just straight up lying. Okay, every nation that ties with the USA loses. This is no different. Okay, so last year, or actually, Veronica Campbell-Brown, that's an example right there. That's at an Olympic final. She won. She tied. A virtual tie, because it's not a tie. It was a tie means you can't separate their times. And by the way, Omega, the timing system, they can go further than the 1000s. They stop at the 1000s because that is part of the rules. The rules say stop there. If you got to go further than that, don't do it. Maybe because it starts to get pixelated or something like that or whatever, but they can go further. They have cameras on. See, too bad for some of these trolls that I've been a FAT timer and that I've been at very big meets. I've been at Division 1. I've been at conference championships in Division 1 timing for these track and field meets, USATF youth and the masters, so on and so forth. All right. So I've been at NCAAs, Division 1s, only meets I've done. I've done youth meets for USATF, youth meets for AAU, youth meets all over the place, even the ones that are like middle school meets that are not AAU or USATF. And at the big ones, they got multiple cameras. They got a camera on one side. They got a camera on the other one. They got probably overhead. They got so many different angles and cameras in case one goes down or they need to look there. Because on this side, you might not be able to as clearly tell somebody's torso. But on another side, you can. So even with the finish line photos that they give us, they have other angles. Notice that they gave us an overhead shot of the men's 100. Where the heck that image come from? Think about that. That could be a drone. That could be a lot of things. But they have multiple cameras. And so it's not that trolling over here is not going to work for me. And then you had coaches. That's when I listened to that video. He had somebody there that was working for World Athletics, and they brought up the other angle because I was looking for that myself. Okay, I'm going to have to handle my rabbit. Give me a second. All right, I am back. Rabbit trying to chew through a box of cereal. That's not going to be good for her. But yeah, there are other angles that are acceptable that they will use. So let me look at the comment section. Too many tattoos. Tattoos, many athletes have them. Yeah. Let me see. Lock Raven, what's up? Islander. You said the wheelchair jokes were from Botswana. Now, everybody was doing wheelchair jokes. I mean, I wanted to troll up in there, but I'm not going to do that because it's kind of funny. Like, if you think about somebody jumping and then at the end of it, they kind of there, but he has asthma and stuff. So I think it's inappropriate to do certain things. Like, hey, even if I find something a little bit humorous myself, there's certain things that some of us just would not do. So maybe as some time goes by, I'll bring up some kind of joke with that. But at this current moment, I'm not going to do it. And then also, I'm not going to add into trolling because, I mean, it is funny. But then that takes away from him getting his bronze medal. No, I don't follow the neither one of those ones for politics. Nope, I do not. I'm catching up to some of them. You said nobody clears them, not even Flojo in her one season. Flojo did not have one season. See, this is what happens when people say lies like this one on your screen. So what happens is the average person is a sheep. So they just repeat it. You can even see Flojo competed after her, quote, one season. She competed before the, quote, one season. And she wasn't just good or meddled at, quote, one season. But when somebody repeats a lie enough, like they learned in Nazi Germany, which learned from the United States white supremacist system, because that's what Hitler wrote about. He copied the U.S., so that's where it came from. All you have to do is, one, yell and scream. So that's why politicians yell and scream and argue at each other, even if they agree on something, and then repeat it over and over. I did this experiment. One of my best friends, like a brother to me, he did this. I was 16, he was 14. He said he wanted to try that out. So he looked in the mirror at himself, and every morning he would call himself a different name, and he called an NFL player a different name. It took him like 2 weeks, and then for the next 4 or 5 months, he would accidentally remember the fake name for the NFL person. His own name, it was a little bit easier because that's obvious, it's him. But for the NFL player, he remembered the fake name first and would stutter up for like the next 6 or so months. All you got to do is just keep repeating stuff over and over. That's why all of this stuff, that's why I'm clearing it up. And that's why I'm being sarcastic too. And that's why I'm going ham on it too. Because number one, there's a lot of people that were like, man, I'm surprised Jamaica was acting like this. Yeah, they said we didn't know Jamaica was going to show its ass like this. Now, here's something else. Here's something that's in here. They said the record, they said 36. Elaine might actually be the world record holder. Now, here's some of the, you saying it's suspicious. You said double by. They do know the track history. Like Islander is here basically trolling and just being like a spoiled brat. Like what Maverick was saying about many of the Jamaicans. See, what's happening here is I played a video, and it's in my members only, where I said disgusting rumors about Elaine Thompson-Herah and Sha'Carri Richardson. And in that video, I spent out of my time. I didn't have to do that. I spent and jumped in front of a story that was talking about a criminal record from Elaine's husband and some things that happened at MVP camp. And then I went and dispelled those things. People emailed me some stuff about the camp outside of that I had then verified. And I said, okay, I'm not going to talk about those things. I went out of my way to defend Elaine on that. I defended other Jamaican athletes on it. I actually made that members only so I could be like, nah, this shouldn't be public like that. And so some people were saying, why did I bring this up? It was because the article had already been out. There were people that were talking about it. And I felt it in my right that I'm going to dispel those. Some of the things that were said there could have been true, right? But they weren't coming from a verified source at that time. So I said, you know what? Those are rumors. And for you guys that just automatically run with the rumor because somebody said so, you are disgusting. You should use critical thinking skills. Why would now here, because you don't like Elaine and you like Shelly Ann, you're going to fall through this. You're going to do these things. I went out of my way. But I noticed it doesn't work both ways. If there's something said on a Black American or something, we don't necessarily see. There's a few sometimes. We don't necessarily see somebody coming to cape for us. So I got to keep that in mind. I go and cape for somebody else. I go and then clear up some of their things. If some of the things could be true, I go and say, hey, look, I'm going to be a shield defending you. Then I get some dude like King Naldo or whatever. And now he's over here just saying straight out lies. I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let me read this thing right here. Now, you said, let me get my troll spray. Now, it says Usain Bolt's achievements continue to be the benchmark in the world of sprinting. Now, I'm going to let y'all know right now, Sebastian Coe, the World Athletics IAAF president, said, we've moved beyond Usain Bolt. Notice, Noah Lyles does not even respond to Usain Bolt's disses. He doesn't respond to none of those. You know why? He's looking beyond Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt, if you think about it like this, Usain Bolt is very small. That's not to demean him. He's small because he's attached to track and field. Noah Lyles is trying to be bigger than track and field. Yeah, you could be big in the sport. But if you guys are always thinking about checkers and tic-tac-toe, you're not thinking about chess. You're not thinking about the next level up. Because think about this. All the other sports are big for a reason. They're bringing in pop stars from different genres. Notice, they got Snoop Dogg, although you could say he's kind of aged up or whatever. They could have had somebody younger. But still, they're having in basketball players being associated with track and field. They're having recording artists being associated with track and field. They're doing that more blatantly, more obvious. Yes, this is a lead up to 2028, and I would hope that they keep doing it after. I'm not under the illusion that this is going to last forever, but just in case it could be, just in case some of that marketing budget, just in case some of that is going to be there. Sebastian Coe said the future of track and field is the United States. He didn't say future of track and field is Jamaica. Future of track and field is Britain. Future of track and field is somewhere in Africa, Botswana, South Africa. He didn't say that. It's the United States. There is a reason why that is the case. Okay? There is a reason why. But when we get people to demean somebody's accomplishment, you get a gold and then they say, well, it's not good enough. Right? He's over here saying, first, I want to thank God. This is Noah in this picture. Say, first, I want to thank God for getting me through this entire Olympics. Second, I want to congratulate Tobago and Benrick and everyone else on the amazing Olympic 200-meter final. Now, of course, people have already said, oh, that's not good enough. They twisted his words. Finally, I want to thank everyone for the supportive messages. I believe this will be the end of my 2024 Olympics. It's not the Olympics I dreamed of, but it's left me with so much joy in my heart. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Whether you were rooting for me or against me, you have to admit, you watched, didn't you? Wink. See you next time, okay? Now, why are you bringing up Usain Bolt now? Did we have to keep bringing and to demean and to put it into, yeah, this is the benchmark? You know, Michael Johnson used to have the benchmark, and Carl Lewis used to have the benchmark, and so many other people used to have the benchmark. But it's like you could tell when somebody's not used to winning. This guy's old enough. He's not the young guy. This guy is old enough to remember Jamaica was not at the top. So that when you're not used to winning and you're kind of jealous of somebody else, you start to bring up somebody else in the conversation when one, he's not competing. Okay, cool. What you're putting Usain Bolt in a conversation he's not deserving to be in. He wasn't out there busting his ass competing. He wasn't. Michael Johnson is not brought up. His ass is not out there busting and competing on the line. It's absolutely no reason and highly inappropriate to bring up somebody else when it's this conversation. Noah Lyles didn't even bring up, hey, I'm whatever. He's just trying to make it through. He won the 100. He didn't say, yeah, I'm greater than Usain Bolt. He said he's trying to do something better than Usain Bolt. Yeah. And then when it didn't work out, it didn't work out. You said the way Noah talks, he should have won the 100 by a mile. It shouldn't have been even close. The way I look at it is this. Usain Bolt barely won against Justin Gatlin when he tripped up on himself in 2015 and then lost in 2017. Justin Gatlin was on Usain Bolt's tail for a little while, actually, even though Usain Bolt was, faster than him. But does it matter how much you win by? Does it really matter how much you win by? Because a win is a win, is it not? So you're still a loser, right? Are you still a loser? Or are you actually the winner? Oh, wait a minute. You're still a loser. It don't matter if it was by a mile or if it was by a centimeter. A win is a win is a win. It's like saying, well, my son almost survived the car accident. He's dead. Like, what kind of, let's change the logic real quick. Because if you lose, you're like this. By the way, that logic was, you should have escaped by a mile, but you still survived. It was a near miss. Hey, I survived though, didn't I? Let's not have that happen again in the future. But let's stop talking about the near miss I had. I won. As in, I escaped this car accident by a near centimeter miss. Doctor said I survived by just a centimeter. I'm lucky to be alive. Okay, cool. I survived. I won. Yeah, let's use that logic in other areas. This is how we know something does or does not make sense. It's either you survived or you didn't. You won or you lost. There is no in between. Kashane Thompson lost. End of discussion. Now let's go over this guy right here. He keeps bringing up something about Aryan Knight. Now I noticed this with a lot of Caribbeans. No, no smoke. It's just it is what it is. They run Shade Room and World Star Hip Hop and some other things, and it's usually about like all this negative gossip and drama. No, I'm like, that's what I'm seeing. This guy is posting up almost constant. This is the admin of the group. He's not posting up something constructive. You go to his page, he'll say, "Oh, black people did this in the civil rights era." Like, bruh, that actually didn't even concern you, but thank you for posting that up. And then red pill gossip, red pill, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. It fits the profile of somebody that trolls. So he's putting up all of these things, putting up here, putting up here. Let me get to the point here. Let me take this off the screen. We don't need to scroll and see all of that. Let me pull this up in the background as I am doing this. Because he's got a lot of stuff that he was talking against. Okay, wait a minute. Here's one more of them. Now, this is just him. Remember, he's the admin. I don't even got to bring up the content he allows in his group. The reason why I'm showing the admin is because he's showing this. Now, you said you couldn't be a part of this group. This ain't the only group like that. There's another group that's run by white people. There's another one that's run by I don't know what they are, right? But then they got people from, all over the place. It's the same thing. It's this USA versus Jamaica, but it's really just Jamaica versus the US, because it's not really the US starting a lot of things. It's like, once we get tired of you trolling, now we finna hit you. That's what I'm doing now. It's like, once you hit me enough, but then you're getting mad because I'm defending myself. You smack me, so now I'm gonna finish this stuff. So now you get mad at me, and then play like as if you or somebody with you didn't do it. So here it is. He said, "Do you agree with this assertion?" He said, "Again, do not tie with the Americans. You cannot win." And then it says 100-meter hurdles. Here's yet another idiot that's coming up here saying, "Oh, they gave it to the Americans." Now he's gonna say, "Do you agree with this?" right here. So he could play like he's not actually agreeing with that. So he's saying the USA is clowning them. We all know this. Okay, we got all of that. Now he says every nation that ties with the USA loses. Remember, that was what I started with. So he said it as a question, as if he didn't agree with it. So he could, see who agrees with him or not. And then he just came out and said what he really felt. Okay, then he was upset with Jamaica's dropping the baton. Then he said something about humble pie, so I give him that one. Okay, he's posting about that. Then they're talking about the 200 all-time list. Okay. I'm almost at this other one. We've already gone over the NBA. Oh, yeah, this is a big one right here, because somebody said this under a comment saying about Jamaica. Now, this was a Nigerian athlete that then represented the United States, like literally not born here, or even transferred. She transferred for the specific purposes of, they weren't approving things. Now, he's saying it's because of tribalism. I didn't see that from what I looked up, and he's a known liar, so I don't know if that's the case. If it is the case, that's shameful. But she said, hey, it wasn't approved the last time. I could not compete. Because remember, there were like almost 10 athletes or something for Team Nigeria. Last minute, they wouldn't approve for Tokyo. I was like, what the heck is going on? So some of those athletes switched allegiances. And this was one of them that decided to represent the United States, said, hey, look, there's people ready to abandon their countries if you ain't treating them right in your own administration. Many people are like, hey, the fans ain't treating them right. They said this in comment section. I saw it. They said, hey, y'all need to start appreciating. Well, they said, we need to start appreciating our athletes. They're talking about other Jamaicans. We had a wonderful fourth place. I think it was like a woman or something like that. We had this athlete here, this athlete here. We had a gold in the discus. We need to start doing that before they leave and go represent other nations. And that's true. As you're seeing this now, there are people from Kenya, that's representing Bahrain, but that always kind of happens. Then you got this Nigerian woman. She represents the United States. There's several other athletes that are like, yeah, middle finger to you guys. If you guys are not going to let us compete, we're just going to, represent another nation. Now, what does that do? This is not helping Nigeria. Actually, this makes Nigeria look like a straight up ass clown. This actually helps the United States because you got the gold for the U.S. You can say, oh, yeah, beloved Nigeria. But the only thing we going to see is that you got the stars and stripes of the U.S. And what investors are going to see, stars and stripes of the U.S. So even if you got a Jamaican athlete, a Jamaican descendant athlete like Adina, that's not helping Jamaica. That's helping Britain. Because guess where the money's going? Even if you want to do a symbolism and say, oh, Adina's parents are Jamaica, that's a win for Jamaica. No, it's not. That's a win for Britain. That's why they say it is that. They're like, oh, it's a British. They didn't say Jamaican British. And even if they did, that's still a win for Britain. That's not putting money in your pocket. That's not having facilities developed in Jamaica for an athlete winning. Imagine Usain Bolt was running for Britain. Even if he's from Jamaica, unless he did it himself, unless he goes out of his way to get facilities in Jamaica, they wasn't going to put that in Jamaica. They're going to put it in where he's at, where he's represented. So that's not a win for Nigeria. This is a win for the U.S. Let me see. Let me see this. You said Julian beating Sha'Carri is my favorite video, even more than the Jamaican sweep in 2021. You said I'm proud of Tia. She's coming in last as long as Sha'Carri doesn't win. Well, at least you are a hater, Islander. You've been with this channel since the beginning. So now I found out that you are a hater. So at least you're a hater, and we're seeing it all out. They said if you want to find out how a person is, number one, put them in front of a white man. That's one that put anybody in front of them. And then number two, you just let them talk long enough, and then they reveal it. So there you go. They said Sha'Carri won gold. Stay curious. Now you just trolling. Oh yeah, she won gold in the 4x1. Let me see. You said, what a terrible person. Please tell me you don't have children, Maisha. Yeah, we don't have to go there, but yeah, I can see, yeah, maybe some people don't need to have kids, but that's a different conversation. We don't need people passing on that kind of hate and negativity on. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Maisha. We do not need those types of people. That's why, I mean, today I got like a call from 7 different people out of Nigeria. There was 2 in Jamaica, and I'm going to just tell you, they said, help me get to the U.S. I said, hell no. No, we got too many people that's coming over here working against us right now. We had too many people run for office. We got people that's in these sheriff things. They're abusing us. They're making, giving money out to each other, and they're blocking us from getting businesses. They got a Caribbean business. They got all of the money. The same one that some buddies of mine tried to apply there. They said, nope, you can't get it. Black Americans, of course. And then next thing you know, now they got other people there that are not from the U.S. that actually don't like us unless we're going to spend some money in their restaurant. And then after that, like I got cursed out. I told you I got cursed out by this Haitian dude the other day. He thought I was. And then he cursed me out. Thought I didn't understand him. And I'm like, nope, you're not coming over here. I'm not helping you come over here. I hope you go somewhere else, but not here. I hope you build your own country. Not here. Anyway, that's a different topic. Let's go here. This is Sebastian Coe. Athletics has moved on from both. You can listen to the interview. That was actually pretty accurate that he put. He said, meanwhile, in Quarantineville, I guess he's just trolling. He's putting that up there, not saying too much. They said, Kendall Ellis. Here's a despicable liar as it is. So this guy lies. So he's saying here, Kendall Ellis made it seem like it's this, because this wording is here. Ellis took to X, formerly Twitter account, to express their frustrations, writing, if they're gonna keep me off the relays based on tweets, that's another flaw in the system, LOL. She added, imagine being told this morning that you were running the finals of the 4x4 just to be told 4 minutes before call time, you're not. Now, she added, what a despicable liar here. This actually came first. She said, imagine this. That came first. You can look at her tweets. That came first. Not she added. See, wording is important. It's these small, subtle things. Like when they say this race is stolen from this person, all you're going to remember years later. You're not going to remember the truth. Just like what you said Islander earlier, where Flojo just had one good season. No, that's actually factually incorrect. And she's one of the best performers of all time in track and field when you got a gold in the 1-2, the 4x1, and a silver in the 4x4. I can't be pressed to think of any other athlete that has done better than that. Noah Lyles was trying to do better than that because he wanted the 4 golds, but I haven't seen another athlete get gold, and then a silver. Not at all. Not in that combination with the sprints. We got Pavel Nurmi that got gold in the 5K, 10K, and marathon. And then the second best would be, and he just jumped in the marathon. That's when you didn't have to qualify. He just jumped in it because he felt like it. So I would say that achievement is probably a little bit less. But then we got Safan Hassan, bronze in the 5K, bronze in the 10K, and then a gold in the marathon. Now, where are we seeing this matched accomplishment at? We don't see nobody else doing it. And then that wasn't the only Olympics that she did it. All of these little subtle lies that people put in, even I could fall for them if I didn't know the context. This one, I knew the context already. So that's why we got to correct some of these things out here. Just like they're trying to say, oh, Noah Lyles had criticized this an NBA player because they want to run with the narrative. They put it out there with the quote leaked audio. How many people are going to listen to that audio? Not many. They're going to see this article. They're going to see that up there, and then they're just going to roll with it. Then he has to apologize. Oh, now this guy want to talk positive and say, in the face of wavering, this is what politicians do. They're going to criticize you, and then for one little measly ass freaking moment, they're going to say, oh, let's all come together. But 99% of the other time, they're out here yelling you down and doing all of this. Tyreek Hill, we're not going to cover that right now. Let me see. There was something that was bigger, so I'm going to try to get to that right now. Yeah, that's the NBA stuff. All right. Then he's saying failing to recognize their achievements is not big. Right here. I'm going to let y'all listen to this one. Now, here is something big. Now, he said, Noah Lyles message to Kashane Thompson. You can jump to cross the line. Now, we got some crash dummies here that said should never jump up and down over the start line to put people off. Now, he's been doing this since he's been a teenager and different antics and stuff, so I don't think that's putting people off. That's just Noah. But notice he said message from Noah Lyles to Kashane, right? That would imply that he said something to Kashane. But let's listen to the video. Let's just listen to this message that he got.
Something that an average fan does not know about sprinting.
You can jump to cross the line. I've never had to do that, and I hope I never have to. Quite a few people have done it, including Allison Felix and Shawnee Miller-Weibo, who both have world championship and Olympic medals.
What is something?
I don't hear anything applied to Kashane here. I don't hear his name brought up. He mistakenly said Allison Felix did it, and I think that's a mistake. I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt because he said both of them together, so he probably remembering them in his memory as, okay, somebody jumped the line and he's in the middle of the interview or something, so he's just answering the question because we all make mistakes. I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt because you know what, some people are gonna trash him just like they said here in the comment section. But remember, these people are people. They feel pain when they're running. They're not going to be automatic robots, and they are people. They're going to make a mistake, a slip up in speeches sometimes. So I'm not going to hold that against them. But as far as this, I mean, that's a blatant ass lie. Absolutely. Where was the message to Kashane Thompson right there? See, he's acting like one of these white media companies. He's acting like one of them where they're going to now just lie. They're going to take some little slither of truth. That's how you get lies through. You tell 90% accurate, throw in 10% lie, and then they call it a white lie, by the way. I guess that's good. That's better than a regular lie. And then they say, oh, here's what happened. And then you got to argue with that. It's not even a soundbite. It's just a lie. And we're supposed to take a person like this admin seriously? Yeah. And then he's talking about the athletics integrity, and now he's hitting on Arian Knighton over and over. Number one, none of this has been proven at all. So what happened at first is, hey, they said, hey, we found something in your system. And then what had been ruled was it was not intentional. Now, before somebody say, oh, look, Americans are dopers, Shelly Ann Fraser Price had got ruled against her, and then they said, oh yeah, it was because of this error thing, so that was fine. Let me see. Brianna Williams had consumed something or taken a steroid. They had or performance enhancing drug. Let me say that right, because it may not have been steroid. My memory right here, but she had taken a banned substance. They confirmed that she took a banned substance. They confirmed it. Remember, they confirmed that Brianna Williams took a banned substance. There was no, oh, she didn't take it. No, they confirmed that she took a banned substance. The ruling was she did not take the banned substance on purpose. All right. That is very similar here. They said, hey, it's no fault of his. If there was something like that, he didn't do it on purpose. He's not trying to do this, which is why, hey, we're going to do these things. We're going to wipe away these times here. That's what this is. And the, I guess the athletics integrity unit, which I believe that's what Sebastian Coe created. They're fighting back and saying, hey, we don't like that ruling, so we're going to fight back against it. That's what they're saying now. So until all of the finalized stuff comes, there's absolutely no point of even trying to imply something. Because now when you keep repeating it, even if this man is clear, now you've ruined his reputation because people just remember Knighton equals this. And, you know, this happens with black athletes in general, but specifically black Americans more than others. Because even in this comment section, they're saying, it's USA whatever. And then they're like, no, there's a bunch of USA athletes that got banned. They got coaches that got banned. You got Europeans, whole countries that got banned. Russia. You got all types of things. So they're even over here going on people's lies. They literally just lie for a living, and they just want to hate because they want to hate. Smooth Will said, nobody ever questioned both all these years I see. Yep. Yeah, I mean, there were some Americans that question it, and if I have a question myself, I'm not going to really voice that here. But there's a lot of people that have questioned it, but it kind of got silenced out. So the way I look at it is, if somebody want to start just saying, oh, USA is drug, I'll go in and say, hey, look, maybe the same way that you just saying somebody that hasn't been proven to have drugs in their system hasn't been proven. I'm talking about athletes that's just never just, okay, they never been an A sample positive or nothing. If you're going to say athletes, because some of y'all have, oh, this is, or USA is drug nation, so all the athletes should be in question. Okay, I'm going to have to question Usain Bolt too. I'm going to have to question Eliud Kipchoge too. I'm going to have to question these other people. And if we do that, it's just going to hurt everybody across the board. So let the professionals do what they should be doing. Let them start to catch whoever they're going to catch, like Sebastian Coe said, and let them deal with it. Until this is finalized, you don't know. Because we ain't going back and forth. Because if we got to, I'm going to just have to go ham. Now, that's the part one. I went a little bit longer on part one. Let me just bring up some general things, and you guys can look these up in the groups. This is what I have been seeing over and over and over. And let me bring up my actual YouTube channel because I can see it in the comment section. And actually, I'm going to do one step better. I don't normally like putting up other people's YouTube channels, but for here, I am going to do this. So, this is from the other day, as it says 19 hours ago. This had to be like 2 days ago now. So, this is what I had up. As you can see, Oral Tracy Maverick. He said, we are like spoiled brats. Listen to that video yourselves. Don't take my word for it. You have other commentators that are talking about this very subject that I'm doing. Now, he's not talking about all of the comments here. I got to be fair. That was more so Coach's desk, because they said he was talking about how, hey, you can have whatever you feel about Noah, and I disagree. He didn't say anything. That's another thing. Am I going too hard on Jamaicans? When they went on Noah's ass because he said, because he was talking about, hey, You know, all of these things like the beef and all of this with within MVP, I knew about it already. I saw Kashane because Janelle had told me years ago. Like all this stuff that you guys are noticing, I knew that. I saw him was able to come up. I knew he was gonna be fast because she was like, "Hey, babe, hey, look, here's a fast guy coming up." Now, here's what I got to say with this for the people that say, "Oh, he's stealing workouts." Okay, so you're telling me that arguably the greatest sprint coach that is alive right now, and probably one of the greatest sprint coaches of all time, gotta steal workouts from a camp that does not train anyone outside of Jamaica and some of the other Caribbean nations for the most part. American coaches, you're telling me now, American coaches that train people from all over the planet, literally everybody, gotta borrow from coaches that typically are like me, because that's what I've seen. Where are the American athletes going down to Jamaica to learn? No. Where are the British athletes going down to Jamaica to learn? No. Where are the West African, whether that's the Ivory Coast, whether that is Nigeria, Ghana, whether that's East Africans in the form of Kenya, because they got one, or South Africa in the form of Botswana and literally South Africa? Where are we seeing anybody else going down like, hey, Jamaica, teach us what's going on. Teach us your ways. They're not. They're going to the U.S. if they're going somewhere in Europe. Or they're staying in their own countries. They are not going to Jamaica to do that. So what are you guys saying? He's taking secrets. He knows how to do this training. Are you forgetting that the same coach that's coaching Noah Lyles now, Coach Veronica Campbell-Brown? So that means, where did he get the coaches? Did Veronica Campbell-Brown feed him some information? You know, before y'all had an established coaching system down there, she was one of the people that went through the American system, and she was winning golds in the 200, golds in the 100. She was going ham back and forth with Allison Felix and others. You're telling me this guy, the guy that was doing this before the coaching programs were fully established for real in Jamaica, you're telling me this guy had to get Noah Lyles to get his girlfriend to then tell him secrets and stuff inside the camp? How dumb and retarded you gotta be to even assert that, number one, and two, to believe it. Like, you just gotta think for a second. And so when I'm saying, am I going too hard on Jamaica? It's like, you lost. You're now talking about your own Jamaican athletes, where you're saying Janelle, and there's people still saying it now. You mean the same Janelle that helped you guys get a silver medal at the last Olympics in the 4x4 and a bronze medal in the 2022 4x4 World Championships in the United States? You mean that same one? The same one that lost her mother and I think other family members? That same one that has been struggling through that, but y'all has said throw her whole ass away. And not only that, y'all start talking about how dark she is. So the colorism thing, y'all let come spreading out. Where even Coach's desk, he said, hey, if Noah Lyles was white, this problem wouldn't even be happening. This is him saying that. Go to his video. This is him. I didn't have to say it. He said it. These are other people saying this. Other Jamaicans saying, hey, if Noah Lyles was white, y'all wouldn't even have a big uproar. Remember, I said that the other day. Y'all were going in on me. Now, how about y'all go to other people? I'm not telling y'all to do it. But how about y'all give some attention and say, maybe this person is right, because there are other Jamaicans saying it. We got other analysts that are saying this. There are other people that are within our culture that's saying it's not just outside the culture. They are saying this. It got so nasty that your hatred for Noah Lyles started to spread through and go to his girlfriend. You couldn't mentally destroy him. So y'all trying to go to the next best thing. That's what happens with jealousy. If you can't, like a jealous woman with a man, if she can't get the man, she goes after the kids. And then the kids are getting ruined. You say, hey, she's a single mother, she whatever. No, she will purposely destroy the kids to spite the father. And then the kid will come out real jacked up later on. And she's trying to reach the father because she can't physically do anything to him. She can't mentally affect them. So she's going to damage the kids. We see that with 50 Cent and his son. The mother jacked him up to the point where he sounds like a straight up hoe. try to get money from his dad that he thinks he deserves instead of working hard for it. Like, it's literally the same talking points that you hear from a mother to the man. But this is another man right here. So that's what you start sounding like, real jealous. You're coming after your own people. And I'm not talking about the internal beefs that normally happen. I'm talking about this one through that, because I'm not going into y'all business. That's your business. You got to face your own internal beefs, Jamaica. That's not me. I'm not even here to do that. But I will at least put that there. Now, here's another thing. Let me do something real quick. Okay, here's another thing real quick. When you guys are losing, I don't believe I'm going too hard on Jamaica right now, because the same energy I gave back then to every other group of people, I'm just giving to Jamaica right now. There is still on and on. It's very tiring and taxing to keep seeing every day, because if you don't fight against the narrative, what happens is, like I said before, people start to believe Flojo only had one good year. I believe that. And I saw there was multiple years. I had believed that for a little while. And then I had to go back myself and go see it was not just 1 year. That is a lie. And when you think about it, what kind of athlete would just have 1 year? Was she not training for the rest of that time? Did she just be like, oh, all right, I'm finna just lace up my shoes. I see these women on TV. Let's just lace them up. And now I'm fast. I'm breaking records. Not only that, I was a couch potato before. Da-da-da, I am Superwoman. And I'm just blazing all of this stuff. That's not how things happen. And if somebody only got, let's say she tried to do 2 Olympics. Let's just say that this was the case and she only got gold at 1. Is that a problem now? So a winner is a loser? You mean like how y'all try to turn a Sha'Carri second place into a what? You lost, Jamaica. It's just straight up. Just like Islander said at the beginning of this video. We got the hatred and jealousy right there. As long as Sha'Carri didn't win. And I put it in quotes because you saw this other guy that's Jamaican that's talking about all of these other athletes there and just spreading rumors. And he isn't the only one. I brought him up because he's the moderator of a group. You could go on Instagram. You could go on any random videos with a lot of these athletes. They talk about Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, but to a lesser extent, to be fair. But anywhere where they can get a hole in, it's like, hey, we're going to go. So this is why I'm going there. There's a lot of Jamaicans that are not doing this. And I got to say, that's the minority right now. That is the minority. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. It's the minority. Because when I see the amount of people liking the comments, because the ones that's agreeing with it, I went through all of these before I made this video and came up with the topic. And before I started to go and start what you guys say is trolling, that I'm just using the same logic you guys are doing against you. I first went through post after post after post, because when I do something, when I do a takedown on something, just like when I was saying this information is not verified about Elaine Thompson-Herah right now at this moment of recording that video, I went through and looked with every available source I had available and said, okay, I can't verify this. So at least publicly, if there's something behind the scenes or whatever, I can't take that right now. I got to take what is from reputable sources. They were faking a Jamaica Gleaner article at that time. There was somebody faking those articles. Whether it came out to be real later on, I didn't even double check that now. But at the time, I'm telling you, I do my research. So that's the problem here. So let me go to this other thing since I said I was going to bring that up. 1 second. Nope. Wrong. That's the wrong tab. I literally have about, I got like 80 tabs open and 4 browsers. So let me see. Is this the one here? They said this was testing relationship between Lyles and Janelle. I think I covered that, or maybe I did that in a pre-recorded video. And where Noah Lyles was, let me put this on the screen then, since I'm already talking about it. Come on, load up. Okay, they said it's a testing year of our relationship. Now, it's not a testing year for them too, because again, that's kind of clickbaity. But it was a testing year, like he said, hey, when Jamaica had no dog in the fight, they were all on my side. But as soon as they thought they had a dog in the fight, it's been very brutal and tough. That's what he was talking about. He said when when there was no dog in the fight, we were friends, basically. And then when there's a dog in the fight, it's been like that. To me, they ain't no friend. That's not a buddy of mine. Yeah, I can understand you gonna do that, but after the dust settles, you should just go back to normal. Like, I can understand if you say, hey, this competitive trash talking. Man, do like Muhammad Ali. After the fight was over with some of the people, not all of them, but after the fight was over, it's like, hey, shake hands. Hey, good job. Hurrah, hurrah. No, that's not what's happening right now. What's happening right now is Noah Lyles stole the race. You know, Adi got her races stolen every single time. But then when I bring up Veronica Campbell-Brown, silence. You're not even agreeing with it. You're not even admitting it. That's where I know that there is a deep-seated hatred. If it was just Noah Lyles, then y'all would not have said the other people. Every single time I'm checkmating you. Oh, it's not against Black American. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Right. So the other time y'all tied with another Black American athlete, it's just because that you happen to tie with them, right? In the 100 hurdles or the 110s. So that was Noah Lyles, right? That was a Noah Lyles or Sha'Carri Richardson, right? Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. That was Noah Lyles actually in that 110. Yeah, you know what? My eyes must be deceiving me. You know, my eyes, he did the 110s, the 100, and the 200. So that tie that you had, that was with Noah Lyles. Oh, and when Seville got a tie, quote, tie, again, these are in quotes, at the World Championships last year, and Noah Lyles was the clear winner, since y'all couldn't argue that Noah Lyles could have had a loss, y'all just kind of submitted and was like, let me turn over on my back. See, am I going too hard on Jamaica right now, y'all? I'm talking about other Jamaicans. Am I going too hard on the ones that are trolling me? Come on, just think about it real quick. I know some of y'all actually do agree. I see the comments where y'all saying, hey, yeah, this is getting kind of annoying. They are doing too much. There are some of us doing too much. And I'm not talking about the kids, because some of them said it's the young ones. No, these are old people. That King dude, he's too damn old. He's not young. He's not under 30. He's not that Gen Z. A lot of people like to blame them. I've noticed a lot of the confusion, even in Black America. A lot of that stuff actually comes from the old Negroes. We ain't like them. You know, them old civil rights generation people. That's where a lot of the issues have come from. There's a couple of, you know, differences and whatever. And I got mainly old people on here, so they're going to get offended by that. But, no, it's coming from the old people that know better from these rules. Some of them are coming, and the young people are going to follow through and follow in. Like some of the troll videos or something, that's coming from younger people. Like you could kind of get a feel for it when you're in it. I'm in a lot of these spaces and whatnot, so I could tell which one is the old person or what feels like an old person and what feels like a young person. Because I'm sure there's exceptions here, but I'm guessing Noah Lyles ran and sprinted that 110 hurdles and got second place, and so y'all got angry at him, right? I'm guessing Sha'Carri Richardson back there was running, not Devers, but Richardson was competing back then, and somehow she aged down, or maybe she's got a fountain of youth and gave birth to herself, but she was competing against Adi, right? Yeah. You know, or maybe y'all just lopped that up to, quote, rivalry. You know, right now, rivalry is what's taking over, right? You know, when you lose and then you keep talking about somebody, that's what's taking over, right? To the point where you're coming at somebody else that has a Jamaican girlfriend. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. If I got a problem with somebody, I don't need to come against their family. That is the most disgraceful thing. If you got a problem with anybody, you could have had a problem with Noah Lyles. Because you could say, well, he's the one that talked. No, they said, hey, he's the one that talked, and she's a problem because she told him. What kind of world-class idiot are you that you think that somebody that's dating is not going to tell people information? Y'all are in relationships right now, and y'all telling people stuff y'all ain't even married to. Because I saw some people say, well, they're not married, they shouldn't tell that. Y'all in relationships that's a one-night stand, an extended one-night stand, and y'all telling them all the details. Y'all telling somebody y'all met 5 minutes ago details you wouldn't tell some of your closest friends because you can vent out to them because they gave you a little something. I've had women that do that. They was like, oh, wow, I feel like I've known you for years. This woman over here telling me everything, and I only just met her in a Starbucks and then bent her over later. It's like, okay, cool. But she telling me all this information. I'm just like, what is going on? But I got a nice listening ear and apparently a pleasing voice and a good looking face. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm nodding. That's some of y'all right now. But y'all getting on no allows. Some of y'all have given me so many details of Jamaica in my email. You know, maybe in the future one day, I will show y'all the title of the emails, but I won't do that. You know what? I won't do that at all. I'll leave that information out. You could either believe me or you don't. The people that know they sent me the information, you know it. But there's stuff that people have told me in MVP, in other camps, other things just about Jamaica in general. And I haven't repeated the information, but they've never met me. When you think about it, none of y'all have met me, with the exception of my sister that's on here, 2 sisters that's on here, one friend, and another person I met that just is at a hotel for a while. So outside of that, nobody else has really met me. So I'm like, okay, y'all sharing information from a dude you don't even know like that. And you think somebody that's intimate, that's laid down, is not going to do that? And so, let me wrap this up. I think I've gone a little bit enough over some basic things that's been happening there. Let's just say some facts right here. I understand that other people are doing this, and then, you know, I always got to be fair. Other people are doing this too, but it started with Jamaica. And the main attacks are coming from Jamaica. Like in the 100, you know, other people may be saying, hey, Noah Lau stole that. And, you know, you race against an American and you get second place if you tie with them. That's not a tie, okay? That's not a tie. You lost. It's not a tie. A tie is when you both get the same thing. Sometimes there's ties, like the 2 Jamaicans that tied. And sometimes there are losses. Like, I keep bringing up Christian Colby. He lost against Jacobs in the Indoor 60 World Championships. 2022. Go back to that race. You can watch it on YouTube. He lost. They had the, quote, same time. They, quote, tied. But no, they didn't tie. He lost. And I shouldn't even have to bring up a loss. Like Veronica Campbell-Brown winning in 2007 World Championship final, women's 100, where that race actually was very similar. She had a little bit better start than Noah, but she was basically in 6th, 7th place most of the race and slowly like, I swear, if you just was looking at that and you were like, how the heck did she do that? Come to find out, it's the same coach. Same similar style from 2007 all the way to 2024. Ain't that something? Slowly moving up the field. The field is very close. And then right at the line, snap. And then everybody else is close. That was one hell of a close race back in 2007 too. Go look back at that race. I refreshed my memory on that one. I watched that 2 days ago. That was one hell of a close race. Same coach, different era, different athlete, different nationality. And y'all already know I had brought up the one where they were talking about, hey, every athlete that's winning is basically part of Jamaica. If I went through that on here, I would be going and showing y'all a crap ton of those. I don't even need to. You could just go up on X right now. You could type in St. Lucia and you're going to see that. Just scroll down. I just want you to do that. Women's 100 meter Olympic final on X. You could do that on Instagram as well. You're going to see a whole ton of that. Join these track groups and type that in. I didn't want to do that now because I went longer on some other points and I'm going to wrap up. But I'm not really going too hard on Jamaica because I'm just straightening out some things that had needed to be straightened out. That's it. And once I do this, I intend to drop it. If it goes viral or something like that, this video, which I don't think, then I will go further. But I think I got all the points I needed to get out. Somebody winning is never a loss. Somebody winning when they got clear evidence that you're going to go from the torso, and it's always been that way. When you don't show consistency, I lose respect for you. If you're going to say Noah Lyles didn't get this one, then I need you to say Veronica Campbell Brown. Loud, very loud. Don't just say it quietly. Very loud. Argue against other Jamaicans when they try to argue against it. And start saying, hey, Veronica Campbell Brown should have lost to the two Americans because their feet were in front of hers. Her foot was literally fourth over the line. Now, fourth place athlete got her foot over the line before Veronica Campbell Brown. Actually, let me bring that up on the screen. Since we like to do these things here, let me bring it up on the screen. I would not be me if I did not bring this up on the screen. Hopefully I don't get hit with a copyright here, but if I do, I'm ready for it. Let me see something here. You said the Jamaican fans will rewrite the rules. I know, right? All right, I got it up here, and I'm about to show y'all something. You said as long as Noah lost. Well, at least you a hater. At least I know who the known haters are. Okay, as you can see what I typed up at the top. And here it is. Let's see. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Look at the two Americans. And look at the one athlete all the way on the far side. Let's see. 1 foot, 2 feet, 3. Actually, she was first. Here's second. And here's third. Veronica Campbell Brown's foot is back here. Matter of fact, she's in here at almost, I would say 90, but that's not 90-degree angle, 45 right there, and her other foot is there. Very interesting. She's sponsored by Adidas. Oh, that would make sense because the camp that she's in. All right. So there's 1, 2, 3 athletes by the rules of the Jamaicans because they are the almighty gods of the rules now. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait a minute. 4 people got their foot over. So Veronica Campbell Brown, she's finally there. This little shadow right here. So 4 people in front of Veronica Campbell Brown. Actually, guys, you guys are wrong. You're wrong. The rules state that the first body part goes over. It should be like that. They should have changed it back then. How come the Americans weren't this butthurt? How come we can be mature adults and not little whiny babies? How come we can be adults? Like I said, many people said they were surprised that Jamaica acted like that. If I went over those comment sections of that post, they would have just been like, yo, what's going on? So I got a question to y'all. Should Veronica Campbell Brown give up her gold medal from 2007 and just accept 5th place? And should she give back the prize money that she got? Also, should she give up the endorsement money? I'm just asking for clarity. Asking for myself and asking for other people that's out here just kind of confused at what's going on. Should she give that up since, you know, this is a time where an American won, right? Let's watch the race. I'll bet you they about to copyright strike me, but oh well. Let's watch the race. The same coach. Look at this style of racing. All right, as you can see, Veronica Campbell Brown back here, right over here. Oh, wait a minute. She's not anywhere near the lead. She's kind of like second to last right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 athletes in front of her. 1, 2, she might be, nah, she's slightly behind. So 2 athletes behind her. Wow, this kind of reminds me of somebody. Wait a minute, it's very clear she's not in the lead. Wow, she's real far back. The American is all the way. Lauren Williams is really far up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this reminding you of somebody? Did this race remind you? Is this giving you flashbacks? Is this giving you good, happy memories? Because it's giving me memories of what just happened the other day. You know, somebody called Noah Lyles. So when I see something in the future, I'm going to automatically start dismissing it. I'm not going to entertain it because we see Islander right now being a big ass hater in the comment section. We see some things before, and somebody told me, they said, "Man, we don't give a f if you cover Jamaica anymore." And it was funny because I didn't even say I wasn't going to cover Jamaica, but I was like, funny enough, I'll put it this way: you have a Black American that's out here covering. You have a Nigerian, maybe he's half Black American, and Ray, because he said he got Nigerian, he got a Nigerian parent, or did he do that Ancestry.com? I don't know. I just know he represented Nigeria at some point. He was trying to make the Olympics. So you got people that were associated with the United States covering Jamaican athletes, which then raises the profile of Jamaica. And on the one hand, you could argue this YouTube channel is kind of rather small, even though I've had some impact at a very high up level. Sure, okay, fair, but not to the point where it's like this is getting millions and millions of views. Okay, fair. But that would be one less person there, and you could just say, hey, that's a drop of a hat in the water, and say, not covering the Jamaicans ain't gonna do too much damage. But that's what you think. And I'm just saying this again. If you see me, and I'm usually a person that many people have associated with as reasonable and kind of level-headed, if you see me kind of reacting like this, what you think other people that ain't gonna be as understanding gonna react like? What do you think some of the sponsors and stuff are gonna be thinking when they're like, hey, we're gonna dish out some money and we're gonna consider things here? Because yeah, you can still get money and call out white supremacists, but there's certain things that they don't necessarily like seeing. If you are kind of making your nation look bad, then maybe they don't want to give money. I can't speak for all the sponsors. I can speak for some of the associates and companies that I know of and how they look at things. Because at the end of the day, the only thing they care about is money. They're not in here for nation building. They're not in here for charity organizations. So it's kind of up to the people to kind of do that. And at this showing, I've asked older people, and they said they've never seen Jamaica react this way at any of the championships. And I gotta say, as I think Coach Maverick said, or Maverick, he was talking about, hey, the average of the medal count is 5 or 6. And then, so that means this is either average or slightly above average for Jamaica to get it. But when you factor in that you thought you had a medal with Shelly Ann and Elaine before she dropped out the 1, so that's 2 gone. And then those are 2 members of your 4x1, so that's 3 gone. And then when you factor in that you thought that the 4x4 maybe could have medaled, gone, because that dropped baton, that's 4. But I still think it's hit and miss with Jamaica, but they're consistent enough now that I could see them maybe getting a medal when they show up like that in the finals. So that's 4 gone. The 4x4 men, that's 5 gone. So when you start thinking you had these other ones, it appears as though you had a really, really, really bad Olympics. And my best friend still said, hey, you guys had a bad Olympics. But when you really factor it in from my point of view, I'm like, well, this is kind of average. But when you're used to slightly above average, aka Usain Bolt years, you got a boost from Usain Bolt. Let's just be honest. And I said this the last time, and this might ring to be true now. People can say what they think. They can say their opinions, but I'm freaking spot on. It's so scary that I'm spot on. I'm talking about with people's marriages, their relationships, what somebody's doing here. I don't know what the ability I got with just reading people and trends. It's all numbers. So when I'm thinking of somebody and I'm saying, hey, you don't really like this man, you just trying to get up out of here, blah, and they deny it, and then I'm already proven right in that same conversation, or just a few months later, and I've hit it all in all again. Or this woman or this man's about to leave you, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and then you keep this dude. It's freaking scary. It's freaking scary. So when I say, hey, China's gonna catch up in the next 1 or 2 with that gold medal count, the very next Olympics, they already caught up. I'm like, yeah. So what I'm about to say here is the same thing I said in 2021. If, or 2022, I know I said this for sure. If Shelly Ann, Sharika, and Elaine kept taking up them 3 spots, you don't have a chance, not given a chance because they got to earn it. You don't have a chance for the younger athletes to actually get experience on these bigger levels. So you're going to have a gap year or 2 that's in there. And when I say year or 2, I meant the Olympics. This Olympics has already proven me correct. Literally, the 3 athletes that Jamaica has depended on now, right? And you could say 2 since 2016, really, and 1 since 2008. When those very same athletes are not there in the picture, what happened? Boom, implosion. So I got to pat myself on the back from 2022 as well. And if Jamaica does not learn from this, from the coaching standpoint, and everything, and maybe some of the fans, because some of the Jamaican athletes be scared to even say anything. Me personally, I believe that Janelle was a little bit nervous to say Noah Lyles did good when Sports Max had asked her, oh, I gotta ask this, how did you feel about Noah in the 100? And she was like, oh, I am very pleased, but good job to Kashane. I know Kashane went through that. I'm like, man, she already had spoke about that situation with Lyles before, so I'm like, because she smiles so much and she didn't change her voice, I'm gonna be like, it's very hard to read. This is just my personal opinion on this one. I'm like, she felt like she had to say that. Cause do we get a Shanae Miller Weibo? If you were to ask her about her man, would she have felt the need to have brought up the other athlete from her own nation to do that? And then say that most of the time? Because she just said one passive statement like, I am very pleased, and then went straight to Kashane, said his name multiple times and everything. I'm like, okay, I see how it is. Now, this is just my speculation and opinion there, that may be of what she was going through her head, because she's already talked about. So it's just like, okay, if I just say only Noah, or I talk about my man, just like the question was, the question didn't say how you felt about the men's 100. The question was, how did you feel about Noah? So she answered a different question. So if Jamaica doesn't get it together, then by the next Olympics, it's going to be very, very similar results. Okay? Results may vary, but it's going to be very, very similar results. Hey, don't blame the messenger. I'm looking at the numbers. Numbers do not lie. The U.S. has a bunch of athletes. Here's my final statement on this, and then I'm going to read some comments and then close out. If Shelly Ann, Sharika, and Elaine were there, remember what I said. The next closest athlete wasn't even close. Like, they were far in front of everybody. There were no 10-8 athletes within range of those 3 women. Think about this. Shelly Ann, 10-6. Elaine, 10-6. And then went 10-5 that year. We're talking about Tokyo year. And then Sharika was a 10-7 mid-high. 10-7 mid-high. Okay. Who is the next closest Jamaican athlete? Well, you got to say Brianna Williams. She was a 10-9 athlete. Whoa. 10-7. Mid to high. 10-9. Oh, check. Next year, you had 10-6. Man, Shelly Ann was loving 10-6. She was just 10-6-3, 10-6-3, 10-3-6-3. All over and over. Okay, she was milking it. It was a cow. She was milking it. All right. You had Sharika, 10-7s. And Elaine, 10-6, 10-7. But still, who's the next closest athlete yet again? And what was their time? Oh, 2023. You're still looking at similar numbers. I don't got to go through all of it. You guys already know, as the fans of the sport and as Jamaicans. Numbers don't lie. You could keep saying potential. Oblique Seville is untapped potential. Right there. There you go. Oblique Seville is the, well, he got a bright future. 4th place. Got a bright future. 4th place. Got a bright future. 9th place. Or last. 8th place. Okay, how many bright futures? Is this going to be an Akam Sani Brown? He's just like Usain Bolt. Now, if Akam Sani Brown was Jamaican, and World Athletics said he was going to be the next coming to Usain Bolt, do you know how crazy y'all would have gone over him? Y'all ignoring him because he's not Jamaican. But if he was, y'all would have used that boost that World Athletics gave y'all to give him a megaphone, and this dude would have flopped year after year after year. Some athletes are not going to cut it. That don't mean that it's fourth place. Don't mean that something that good. It doesn't. Fourth place is still pretty decent, especially at World Championships. You get in the bag. At the Olympics, you ain't getting nothing. World Championships, you getting paid for getting those 8th and 9th places. Olympics, they say, thank you for giving us press TV time. You ain't getting crap. Thank you very much. You said Blake is faster than Lewis. They said, or Asafa Powell. Where y'all saying this? Okay, let me see. Are you really... Okay, Islander, you are a sore-ass loser. All right? And other people like yourself. You just sore loser. It's okay. Just chill. I see you in the comment section saying that Carl Lewis and others can't touch Bolt. Carl Lewis came before Bolt. Those times and the track surface were different. Bolt did take advantage of new shoe technology as well as the track surfaces. I already guarantee that if and when Noah Lyles beats any of Usain Bolt's records, or another American beats any of Usain Bolt's records, the first thing, I'm going to jump in front of it, and y'all going to give me another round of applause for this one. The first thing they're going to say is, not congratulations, only some, it's going to be the minority. The vast majority out of Jamaica, and another bunch of group of people outside of Jamaica giving them a megaphone and amplifying it, they're going to say, it was the shoes and the track surface. Usain Bolt had a better track surface than Michael Johnson. You know that time when he barely broke Michael Johnson's record by 0.02 seconds? I said it at that time to my best friend. I was like, he's got better shoes and a better track. So that means I would say if it was a head-to-head between Michael Johnson and him, I had my analyst hat on already back then in 2009. 2008. I was like, if this was the same type of thing, and you got a fresh Johnson in comparison because he wouldn't have done the 100, Usain Bolt would have lost. And I even had maintained that. I'm like, yeah, at that time, 2008, Usain Bolt would have lost. I'm going to say that right now. Put them on the same surfaces in their at their time, Usain Bolt's time there, and Michael Johnson was doing his world record run, and you could run them simultaneously side by side as if it was a simulation, Michael Johnson would win that race. Now, the next year, you could say, okay, no. But that year, no. They have different surfaces. I already know y'all argument. I'm like Kendrick, predicting the moves that Drake is doing. I can predict y'all angles very, very easily. You're going to say the track surface in the shoes helped him. That's how sore of a loser some of y'all are. Because some of y'all saying, why did Usain Bolt jog? Now, that was a Nigerian athlete repeating what other people did. That was a Nigerian, not athlete. I deleted the post this morning because it auto-posted. But y'all didn't see that. It said, I might post it up tomorrow, but I think I'm done after this. But I might post every once in a while some stuff if I see it. But, yeah, I'm kind of done getting on Jamaica. But he said, why did Usain Bolt jog to make Noah Lyles and others think that they have a chance of winning or beating your record? Why didn't you go full speed? Last time I checked, he was going full speed against Tyson Gay. That was full speed, both of them. He was looking and nervous that Tyson Gay could get him. That was the only threat that Usain Bolt thought he had at the time. Because Tyson Gay, if he was a slouch, if he didn't get hurt like that, remember he got hurt in that 200? I just imagine how fast he could have run. And this was after he got hurt, seriously hurt from that 200. 1 year later, he's now on the tails of Usain Bolt. Now, it's funny. I'm going to tell y'all something y'all ain't going to like. And y'all going to say that. Now I'm finished with the topic. So, thank you guys here. I'm going to say something about Usain Bolt y'all not going to like. And I'm going to put my logo up. I'm going to say something about Jamaica that y'all not going to like. And it's not because I'm saying anything mean. It's just, here's what's going to happen. Usain Bolt will kind of more or less be forgotten about. And I'm not saying it because I'm going to forget him or I'm going to purposely push him to be forgotten. But you do realize that Sebastian Coe, I don't know if y'all checked his skin color, by the way. So you can't say it's a black American doing it. I don't know if you checked his nationality or where he's from, by the way. I don't know if you realize he was a former world record holder in the 1500 and the 800 and other stuff, by the way. But he said the era of Bolt is over. He said it. This is the president of World Athletics, which means y'all notice how they don't bring up Bolt the same way they don't bring up Flojo. Oh, they brought up Michael Johnson a lot. They brought up Carl Lewis a lot. They don't bring up Bolt no more. I don't know if y'all noticed that. That's gotta hurt. The only ones that's bringing up Bolt are the Jamaicans. And when Bolt is in an interview or something. World Athletics ain't pushing him like that. Why would they? He's not competing. What benefit is there to bring up Bolt? Even mentioning his times. They only bring it up to like, Noah Lyles may challenge Bolt's record. It's not oh, man, this is reminding me of Usain Bolt when he was there. They used to say that about Michael Johnson. This is reminding me of the second coming of Michael Johnson. They used to say that with Usain Bolt type athletes. They don't really do that anymore. They ain't even calling Tobago like a Usain Bolt light anymore. World Athletics, that's from them. They stopped the media coverage of saying Usain Bolt. Now the reporter the other day, he said something like that, but that was like that, the Irish guy or something. But World Athletics, they ain't doing it. You heard the president say this. That's the messaging from the top. Stop talking about Usain Bolt. We've moved past him. Move on. Right? They said move on from Usain Bolt. Now, this is what I got for a word for you in Jamaica. I would say there's a way that you could promote yourself that will help all of Jamaica out, that will help the GDP out, that will help you even that's listening there. And I noticed some of the Jamaicans are not living in Jamaica, by the way. That's a different conversation. But if you are looking to big up Jamaica and you're in Jamaica, there's different ways you could do it. But this ain't it, Chief. This is not it. Not being a sore loser after the games. Now that this has died down, it's been a week later. The World Masters Championship is going on. I was gonna ask you guys if I should cover that, but it was just I had to do this with Jamaica right now. Some straightening. If you want your branding to get higher, you're going to have to focus on the down and dirty, the hard work of building up the athletes. That means you got to look at Jamaica and look at the coaches. Coach Francis, when I had the video Jamaica's Lies, I'm gonna just blend it into this one now. Coach Francis was talking about the athletes on their cell phones and all of that is a distraction and all of that. And I'm like, aren't the American athletes on their cell phones and still winning? Maybe it's not the cell phone that's the problem now. Because, sometimes, there's off years and there's not off years. There's some athletes that are affected more than others. I will admit that, Some athletes that aren't online, like Sha'Carri, she's not really online. Noah has a PR team that I think posts for him, at least on his YouTube. I think they post for him on Twitter as well when he's in competition mode at the major championships. But as far as normally or while he's like in major competition, no. So I don't know, Coach Francis. I don't know if I agree with you. Partially I do, but since I don't, for the most part, the answer is no, I don't agree with you. Maybe it's you got to make some adjustments in other areas. That's what it is. You got to make adjustments in other areas. Maybe some of the athletes you got, maybe some of your coaching styles, maybe some other stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's some other adjustments you got to make. Because you didn't tell the athletes that your athletes were injured and there are other people that could have stepped up in place. Yeah, see, I see y'all here, Kenna and Smooth Will. Yes, Carl Lewis and Michael Johnson. They're still in interviews. They're still talking out there. You're seeing Usain Bolt a little bit, yeah, but mainly kind of like on YouTube stuff. But you see, Jamaica is not going to really be promoted like that. It is what it is. Y'all can promote yourselves differently. In Jamaica, This is what frustrates me. I almost wish I almost, but I don't. I'm glad I'm born here. But I almost wish I was born in other places where I could be like, look, and then somebody wouldn't be like, oh, what do you know? But that's what people tell me all the time. What do you know? I know about fighting back. I know about building stuff. I know about being in literal fist fight with the police when somebody was beating on somebody else. I know about being surrounded by 12 officers, and a few of them was trying to draw their guns on me, and I still survived, and I'm here today. And I wasn't getting on my knees and crying and stuff. And I was like, all right, what y'all on? I know about standing up for other people. I know about that. I know about a small stint. I kind of sort of did, but didn't run for governor in Illinois. Okay, I know about certain things. And I know about, hey, here's how you start a business in your own country and you didn't know. Hey, how much does it cost to run for office in Nigeria? Oh, it costs this much money and you didn't know and you're there. I ask you and then you say, well, it's too much. It's too expensive. Well, it is actually, because it's cheaper to run for governor in Illinois. Literally less than, what was it? Less than $100 last I had checked. And it's like a few $1,000s equivalent to run for an equivalent position in Nigeria. I was like, yeah, they don't want y'all to do it. So if you want yourself built up over in Jamaica, just uphold the athletes that are doing well. Make it very inviting. Y'all say y'all humble people and stuff, but also have pride. You can't be prideful and humble at the same time. They are completely opposite mentalities. You can't be prideful and humble. It's just not going to work, because one is going to show more than others. Either you got your head down and you're humble, or you got your head sticking out, chest sticking up, and you got so much pride, and they say the pride comes before the fall. In this case, y'all had so much pride before y'all fell and still got pride. I guess they should have added pride comes before the fall and it continues till death. That's what it should be. All y'all have to do is say, hey, look, we stumbled this Olympics. But guess what? Hey, we still got a 4th place right here. That ain't too bad. It may not be what we wanted. We're disappointed in our athletes. They should do better. And I understand winners sometimes throw tomatoes and rocks at somebody that doesn't win. I'm going to tell y'all this, and you can look it up. And this is my last 2 minutes. York High School in Elmhurst, Illinois. I had the pleasure of being an assistant coach to the legendary Joe Newton. Now, this is the same guy I keep bringing up. He revolutionized distance running, and he was able to, be on the Olympic staff for the Seoul Olympics. The only high school coach that I know, at least at that time, that was able to do that. Like, he was that influential. Like, yo. And he would tell us, and he had recalled moments. He would win so much. So you would get 1st place. Remember, he was there at the time. It was like 50 or 51 years. And he got like 43 out of 50 or 51 years. Or was it 44 state championship titles? So 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. Okay. And he had got they hold the state record for consecutive state titles. Consecutive. 6. He also had 5 at one point. He also had 4 in a row at one point. So you can tell they got a legacy of winning, right? He said the time that they got 2nd place, it was like after they had a streak of like 4 or 5. So that means you have 4 years in high school in the U.S. And that means from freshman all the way to senior, there were people that knew nothing but winning at the state level. And Illinois is one of the biggest cross-country states in the U.S. It's Illinois, I think New York, and California. Same thing with track. But Texas is also big with track. But those 3. They had brought bands. They would have marching bands come down there. There's like 6 or 7 buses of that. He got a coach bus at some point from his athletes donating money. They got 2nd place. You know what happened when he got off the truck or after out the coach bus? He said they threw cans and beer bottles, called them losers, cursed them out. That's what's happening with Jamaica right now. So it's not a uniquely Jamaica thing. These were all white people doing this, by the way. And so I understand some people have reactions, the fans. But these are high schoolers, by the way. High schoolers. It don't matter. They were used to winning. That town that had no type of winning before It was just a middle class town, or even below middle class at the time he did it, during that segregation and everything back then. Um, they had won so often that when they got second place, they got off the bus. They're calling them names, throwing rocks, beer cans, all types of stuff, cursing them out because they got second. That is the reaction that Jamaica is giving their athletes and other people. Not only that, you're not directing it at yourselves. See, a sore loser is not directing it at yourselves, because the fans were taking it out on their own people. Now imagine they went to the winners and said, you know what, Palatine High School, you beat York High School. No, you didn't. You cheated. You guys cheated. And all the time you cheated. You did this. They took it out on themselves. So that's a difference, by the way. Because Jamaica is hard on their own athletes. That's y'all business. I say, I don't think you should be. I can see how you're disappointed. I don't think you should be as hard all the time. But I understand. Iron sharpens iron. But you're directing your anger and your attacks at the wrong group of people. The U.S. winning is our win. Your loss is a freaking L. Somebody else beating the U.S. is not your win. That's their win. St. Lucia, Julian Alfred, you know what? This might go down in history when people try to remember back at this 10, 50 years in the future, when you could have a fuzzy memory. Like, you know how the fuzzy memory of that FloJo was only 1 year? Yeah, the fuzzy memory might be something like this. Julian Alfred, the Jamaican, representing St. Lucia, because y'all put that out so large that people are probably not even going to remember she's St. Lucian. That's shameful. They're going to remember, you know how they say second place is never remembered? Well, I think it's safe to say that second place will potentially be remembered more than Julian Alfred, because Sha'Carri's name was brought up more. You know, when you're a sore loser and you start bringing up the loser's name, like Noah Lyles, do you think people in the future are going to remember first place Botswana guy? Because that's what they're going to think in their head. I'm telling you, because it's already happening now. They don't even remember who the first place was or second place. He's going to take the biggest L. Benrick's going to take the biggest L. They're really not going to remember him. They might not even remember it was the U.S., but they're going to remember third place Noah Lyles in the 200. They're going to remember Kashane with that tie, because it was just so, both of their names were brought up. But when it comes to the 200, Tobogo's name ain't really brought up too much. And then he knocked it off when he had the mic. He had an alley-oop. They was setting him up for a freaking dunk, and then he just threw the ball and passed it. That wasn't very smart. But I'm just telling y'all. Oh, yeah. They said, Asafa Powell said, Jamaicans are real hard and sometimes nasty to their athletes. This came out his own mouth. Yeah. Islander said, we just glad a Caribbean woman won. That's all. Well, so when I say it's against black Americans, I don't want to hear out your mouth, Islander, not one word about that's not true. You said we, Jamaicans, we, not just you. You didn't say I. Just like this other guy that's from Jamaica. He said we, and then every time I debunk him, he say I. I didn't say this. I said, didn't you just say we? Then he said, are you trying to say I don't know how to speak English? I should bring his message up. This low IQ buffoon or troll trying to get on me. He's over here. And you feel free to call up. If you would listen to this chat here, you go ahead, feel free to call up. I'll put up the Zoom so you can call in. I don't mind talking to you. But he knows who I'm talking about. He gonna keep saying we. And then he's like, oh, aren't we talking about Jamaica? And I'm like, yeah, that's what we are. So now he's trying to troll his way out. When you start trolling your way out, you lost. Take the L. Of course, the subject was Jamaica, because my post was about Jamaica. When has it ever changed? Come on, common sense would tell you that. That's something. They said, we glad that a Caribbean won. So Islander, like you said, we, when we say it's everybody, literally everybody versus black Americans, this is what we mean. We got an example. I don't see another Jamaican in my comment section, not at all, trying to say, Islander, you're wrong. There's multiple people watching now. We got more than a handful. We got more than 2 dozens in this chat. Not a saying. I know there's more than one Jamaican here. I don't see not a single other Jamaican. I've been seeing all the comments she's been making this entire time. I don't see not one person refute that. So, hey, when Islander is all up in this live chat saying, we glad that's here, Usain will forever be a legend. I'm being jealous when I brought all the opposite points here. When I brought up that I was defending Elaine Thompson Hero. I'm jealous somehow. Right, I'm jealous. Matter of fact, let me do something real quick. Let me do something since I'm so jealous. They say, again, Blake is the second fastest. They don't got nothing to do. Blake is not competing real quick right now. And y'all know I got a lot of respect for Johan Blake, so I ain't even going to throw him under the bus. I'm not going to fall for that. I'm not going to fall for that easy one because I could have said something about him right there. And I almost did. I got a lot of respect for Johan Blake. I see hard workers, and I respect them because my ass is a hard worker, no matter where they're from. You see, if I was jealous, see, I would do the same thing you're doing, Islander. Where when you see somebody else win, you're just happy that somebody else won against them. You're so much of a hater. See, only real jealous people do that. Now, I'm going to bring this up on the screen. And here it is. It says, disgusting rumors on Elaine Thompson Hero and Sha'Carri Richardson. And I didn't even know I had this. Do we have a victim mentality thing or a winner mentality? Number one, victim mentality isn't really necessarily a real thing. Like when they say, you got a victim mentality as a black American. Yeah, I am a victim. And I'm still fighting against it. A victim is like I got hit by a car and I'm still walking. When they say victim mentality, that's just code word. White supremacists speak for, yeah, we're going to just label you like crazy. Now, let's click this video real quick and let's see what this says. Let me skip to about 10 minutes in. If my memory serves me correctly, it's somewhere around there. Oh, yeah.
Do not know Elaine's husband. He is Darren Harrow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let me not do that. I think it's a little bit further.
Grant's Pin. I think Grant's Pin. All right. So now it's setting the stage. He's a deportee. He travels around. He's feared in some areas. He has connections to criminals. You see how they do this with black people all the time. So let's just say that the background of a person is somewhat negative and blotchy, right? Just like Sha'Carri Richardson. She could have a blotchy background character. Let's go here real quick. And then they'll say, oh, you know what she did? She just got into a fist fight with some Jamaicans. No proof at all. They just write an article. And then next thing you know, they got a fist fight. So they can drum up your hatred of her. So the next time you see her, they hoping that some of you actually get into a physical confrontation. Or they don't care what is going to happen. They just want to get the clicks. So they drum up on people's negativity that's background. Let's say that he is a deportee.
Okay, now here it is. I'm over here when they were talking about rumors of Elaine Thompson Hero and her husband, and I'm over here trying to dispel that. Yeah, I'm real jealous of Jamaicans. Yeah, I'm over here. This was 2 years ago. No, actually, this is more like 3 years ago because this was 2021. September 25th, 2021. We're just a month and a week away from 3 years old, and I'm over here clearing up and defending bogus rumors. And then somebody said, I don't believe you should have read it. It's damaging. They said, why am I promoting the story? Man, these are crash outs. I'm promoting the story. Some people don't know when somebody got your back at all. Not at all. Promoting the story. Oh, okay. Let's take this guy's word for it. And Anne-Marie Clark. Hey, I think you're still a subscriber. I don't know. You've been there for a while. But let's say that I am, quote, promoting that. That means if I'm promoting that, that means when I say positive stuff about Jamaica, that means I'm promoting Jamaica, right? Oh, or when you say negative stuff about no allows that are clear lies, you are promoting no allows, right? Because they're saying I'm promoting this when I'm clearing it up. So if I talk about it to clear it up, I'm, quote, promoting it, and it's damaging. But when I don't talk about it Or let's say I do what everybody else does, promote it as if it's true. Instead of saying, well, if it is true, I don't see the sources right now. Let's wait for the air to clear, because that was a big talking point at the time. So I felt the need to do that. Now, and somebody else said, you spreading the rumor. See, this is jealousy right here. This is jealousy. These are different Jamaicans right here on my comment section. I didn't even notice that until I read it right now. This is jealousy. Somebody said, you spreading the rumor right now. You think you slick. Okay. Now, other people were saying, no, he's just showing how people try to defame people. That's literally what the purpose of this was. I went there and went line by line and said, nah, this ain't right. This was literally spread out by other ones. Channels that got hundreds of thousands of views. How many did I get actually? Oh, I forgot. I don't even know how many views, because it's on a members only. So it's not showing the views right now. But I'm over here trying to clear it up on behalf of somebody else. And their ass is so smart, they're dumb. They said, you're spreading it. You think you're slick. Oh my goodness. What geniuses. Now, most of the people, I'm going to say most of the people, they actually realized what I was doing. That I was clearing this up and trying to stomp this before it got big. Same thing with Marcel Jacobs, where they kept trying to say, oh, it's like Ray, he said it. Remember? And then he later on, I think he just said, no, it wasn't like there. But he had fed into the rumor talking about, hey, did Marcel Jacobs, maybe, is it, he's dodging people. Is it possible that he might be on something? We don't know. Like, what kind of stuff is that? You think that's scintillating news to talk about somebody, to even put in the air? So I went and did videos debunking those things and saying, you don't got any evidence for this to even insinuate that. Just like this one. But, you know, somebody got jealousy so much, they hear a black American talking. They say, well, many people thought I was white at the time for some reason when they're not black American. I've noticed that most black people can tell, like, oh, okay, this is a, maybe he talks proper, maybe he got an accent, maybe there's this, but I can tell. But some people, maybe they can't. I've heard it at Track Meets Live. I'm sitting right in front of them with the mic on, announcing the race. They were like, wow, I thought you were somebody else. And I'm like, what does a white person sound like? Because I don't think I do, but hey, some people think I did sound like one. Either way, I'm over here defending somebody. So Islander, tell me how I'm, quote, jealous. I'm waiting for it. Matter of fact, you should probably call in on Zoom. Matter of fact, Islander, call in on Zoom. I'm going to drop you the Zoom link real quick. Fortunately for you, my button, I'm going to end this off with Islander. Islander, you are required to call in. I hate to do it to you about blocking you, but I might have to block you because you've gone a little bit too far here. So I'm going to load up the Zoom. You do not have to get on camera. And let's just do this. You said, let this be the last video on Jamaica. Okay, maybe I will let this be the last video on Jamaica. Maybe I don't have to cover the athletes or anything like that. But I'm not going to let you dictate like I let some troll before dictate. My channel was doing very well. It was jumping up in the algorithm. I was having people here that were not interested in track be interested in track longer. And we were able to go a year and a half. And then I let myself be fooled by people saying, oh, you need this for the money or something. I was trying to prove them. I don't know what I was doing. I will never have that happen again. I'll tell you that. So if I want to stop the channel, I'll stop the channel. I did hurt myself in the algorithm for doing that, but if I'm consistent like I am now, it'll be fine. But what I want you to do, Islander, I'm going to give you the link. Let's see. Let us see real quick. I'm going to give you the link. You don't need to show your face. Again, I don't need you to show your face. But you are required, not a request, but required to call in. Where's the live button real quick? Okay. Yeah, still not loading up. You might have got lucky out here. I'm going to have to do it from my phone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to my phone right here. Come on. It says connect streaming software to start preview. What a freaking jerk. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna send it on my phone. Give me about 60 seconds and we're gonna drop that link for you. Islander, I want you to call in. You had a lot to say during this whole time. I didn't say anything really to you, but I need you to call in because you say somebody got a loud mouth. You're here to defend Jamaica. So I want you to defend Jamaica. Put your mouth where your money is and quite literally defend Jamaica. So since you think I'm attacking Jamaica, and anybody else that you may disagree, I want you to call in. All right, finally got this thing loaded up on YouTube in my on my phone, and I'm copying the link. And this link will be up in about 20 seconds. So let me go here, go to my channel, go to my live. How are they showing an advertisement when it's myself going here? That's the Zoom link right there. Islander, you got about 30 seconds to come in. Or actually not 30 seconds. You got 2 minutes to call in on that Zoom. Like I said, do not have to you do not have to show your face on there. I don't require that. You just got to call in. And something tells me Islander is not going to call in. So, fortunately, I'll have to put her on a vacation. I pinned the link to the top of the chat. So, whoever disagrees with me on this, on my assessment so far, go ahead and call in. I'm not going to bite. But as it stands right now, we have seen Jamaica show Jamaica's ass, unfortunately. And that's not really a good thing. It's unfortunate. I've lost a little bit of respect. I know there's some good people there. And there's a lot of fans that are not acting that way. But like I say, I think that's the minority at this point. And of course, a lot of people will act certain ways online that they would not do in person. So when somebody says, hey, they smile in your face. I mean, I'm kind of used to white people smiling in my face. And that same white person has fired me from the job. I'm kind of used to white people smiling in my face. And then they redline me out of getting an apartment or buying a business or getting a business loan or anything else. Smiling and hugging up on me is like, yeah, you could be a fan, just like many people are. And those same people will say, F you, nigga, at a basketball game. Because you can't really see them. But when they're right in front of your face, they're like, hey, sign my autograph, sign this thing. Same thing with the Chinese. These players go to China and play. And they're like, hey. So somebody's smiling at something. Islander, you got 2 minutes to call in or you're going to be banned off the channel. It's fine. That's all. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to call in. You said, why would you call in? You disagree. We don't disagree in comment sections. We call in and say it with our chest. All right? Anybody can sound any way. Now, we had a person that called in that was Jamaican. She lives in the Bronx or in New York. I can't remember if it's Bronx. But she called in last week on a hate and debate. She came in and left her piece. I respect her for it. I didn't even bite her head off. She even said it. You guys listen to that. So, go ahead. You got 2 minutes to call in. I hate to do it to you, but if I got to, it is what it is. We're going to have to give you a permanent vacation. Hey, Jamrock, you can go ahead and call in too. Both of you guys have 2 minutes to call in, or you can have a permanent vacation. That's fine with me. Yep, let's go ahead. Somebody saying, hey, you got an issue. All you got to do is voice it in. He said, what am I still doing? Hey, I'm here talking to you. That's if you're gonna call in. A lot of people are keyboard warriors or swipe warriors in this case. They don't got the guts to call in. They got room to criticize. They don't want to have nobody judge them. You're in the privacy of your own home. Nobody hears your voice, but you're here to be able to criticize other people. I put my name out there. People know where I have live. I mean, you can put all the stuff together. You can even know what I look like. It's not that hard to look me up. I may not choose to do live streams and stuff with my face on it. That's fine. I don't require anybody to show their face on this Zoom either. So, you guys got a minute to call in. We don't have to say Dusty Foot Islanders, Wallace. We don't have to go down to that. I know Islander was calling me, told me to go back to the zoo. You can't even back that up. You said go back to the zoo where I came out from. Now, I've not said any real negative thing that you couldn't say about anybody else. I gave the most generic thing. Sore loser, crybabies. I haven't said any stereotype on Jamaica. I haven't said anything derogatory towards Jamaica. I've said things that I did not like from some of the people that were calling from Jamaica or commenting from Jamaica, but I have not said anything disparaging. Now, you Islander brought it up yourself. You brought up Jamaica's criminal record. Remember 2 videos ago or last week live stream? You started bringing that up. So it sounds like you got something sore. It's something you have an inferiority complex with Jamaica, and you were doing it. You start bringing up random ass stuff about Jamaica, negativity with that. You brought that into the comment section. I screenshotted that, just like I've screenshotted some of the comments here. I make sure I have this as ammo. So if anybody ever take this video down, I take it down myself, or anybody say they didn't say anything, we got comment. I don't care. It's 20 years in the future. I see the comments. Let's go. I might have to. I might have to block them. But Islander, you guys got 1 minute. Hey, Jamrock, we ain't got time for you. You said block. You said, nah, I'll take the permanent block. It's permanent vacation. Came on last week talking about Jamaican fans. Came back this week still talking about Jamaican fans. Meanwhile, we have World U20 champs. Coming up with lots of things to talk about. Actually, I cover U20 champs. Hey, Jamrock, let me straighten something out for you. You're world-class dummy. You've won the Olympic gold medal for a world-class idiot. I literally just talked about, and let me put it up on the screen because maybe you're late to the party. I literally talked about this, where this said dispelling disgusting rumors about Elaine Thompson Hero, where I had even almost 3 years ago been talking about defending Jamaicans. But since you hate so much, you hate yourself so much, you've come in to be a glutton of abuse. Since you hate people like myself so much, instead of using reason and logic, you said he's coming at the fans. Okay? And sometimes the fans need to be slapped down. Sometimes the customer is not always right. When I'm wrong, I actually came up and said it. I said some things and I said, yeah, I said this about Sha'Carri. I was wrong on that. I said these things about some other athletes. I was wrong. That was one of the first videos I did when I came back this year to start recording. But you can't seem to admit when you're wrong. When you, yes, you, I'm talking to you, Jamrock. I'm not talking about Jamaicans in general. I'm talking to Islander and Jamrock in general. When you guys stop spreading disgusting stuff about Black Americans, yes, Black Americans, because it's very consistent that every time it's a Black American, not any smoke for Abby Steiner when she did some things, right? If she's beating a Jamaican, you ain't gonna have nothing to say on that. It's gonna be cricket silent. Ooh, good job. I bet you two cried when Queen Elizabeth died, right? The genocidal Queen Elizabeth. You know, she genocided the Kenyans when she was in reigning there. But you probably cried when she died, right? And you got some smoke for me, and you can't even back it up and talk on here, and you say I got all this to say. You could say, quote, corny. The only one that's corny is your ass. Because you can't have nothing to back it up. So right now, you said somebody threatening to block as if he doesn't have a public channel. Yeah, I just won't see your comments. So you can still comment on my post. Remember, it's just nobody else will see it. So what I'm going to do is, you're going Jamrock. And Islander, I'm sorry to do it. I really didn't want to do it. I really don't. Because you've been here for a while, but I ain't got no favoritism. It's just like Joe Newton. He was crying when he had to get rid of his best athlete. He said, hey, if you're tardy 3 times or you're absent from our team, our cross-country team, I'm going to have to let you go. And he was crying in tears. It was either his best athlete or second best. I was standing right in front of him. I'm like, damn, this dude still consistent at the age of 82. He said, just when he was in his 50s and 40s and 30s, he's still the same. He said, look, he was crying. He said, I don't want to let you go, but I got to let you go. So there you go. Islander, you're gone. Oh, did I accidentally, let me see. Uh-oh. Wallace Gary, I accidentally put you on there. Let me unhide you real quick. Yeah, they had accidentally put the channels up there. I hit the wrong person. Wallace Gary, you're back. But why does it keep saying Wallace Gary? Wait a minute. Okay. That's crazy. Hey, Wallace Gary, if you're still there, make a comment real quick, because it keeps saying that you got hidden. Okay, yeah, that was weird. I'm over here on Jamrock and it's there. So yeah, I had to block those guys. If you want to disagree, you can call in. I'm gonna do it just like Jason Black does his channel on the business and the Black Authority. If you want to disagree, you can call in. If you want to get unbanned in the future, you're just gonna have to call in later on. And you might have to pay something to get back in. And I'm very serious. I did that with a person in the past. They actually had to pay to get reinstated because they had done it such a long time ago. It's not something that big, probably $10, $20 or something like that. You think it's kidding? I'm like, hey, it is what it is. You don't have to watch the channel, just like I don't have to have you just talking mess in the channel. This is not going to be like other channels. That's not the goal here. We're building stuff over here, and that's my intention. And we want to have logic and reason. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Let's voice it out. But what you're not going to do is just start saying some stuff. Nobody hears what you sound like. Nobody knows what you're doing, and they didn't come here to listen to you. So if you got a disagreement, you can call in. I gave you a chance to do it. You said you didn't want to do it. Move on. No hard feelings. It's like somebody go through a breakup. It's like, okay, cool, we broke up. Stop talking to me. But I know that's not what's going to happen because I had banned some people in the past and they came back and they asked to be reinstated. There were people that said, I'm going to unsubscribe. Okay, cool. And then they were still there subscribed. I could see it because it was public subscription. There was people that reacted like that. It was so weird to me at first, but then I know how people are. Sometimes we say things and we don't mean them, or we feel like we mean them in a moment, or we just feel like we got to blurt something out. Okay, cool. If you blurt something out and it's that big, I'm going to ask you to call in. You didn't. So anyway, I believe I have covered everything that I needed to cover, and I'm going to give you guys one more time, another 2 minutes to call in. This Zoom link is still active, so you can call in. It is waiting here now. Wallace Gary, shout out to you. You said, I'm here. I like this channel. Yeah, we're going to have clear logic. Like, hey, if Wallace Gary disagrees with me in the future, just as an example, and I ask him to call in, he doesn't, I'm not going to have favoritism. I'm just going to have to block him. That's the same thing with me. I call in the Jason Black channel. They had asked me to call in one time because the moderators thought I wasn't being consistent. And one of my channels got blocked because I didn't catch it at the time. And then I just never asked to get unblocked. But another time they asked me to call in. I called in and I was like, oh, this is what happened. And it was a misunderstanding. Just like last week, we had a guy, he called in. It was a misunderstanding. Straightened out. If you don't like how it is, you can be banned permanently. Otherwise, you could just call in. That's better for everybody anyway. Why don't we hear you disagree versus you just trolling up left and right? But anyway, I know that might in some ways kind of hurt the channel because we had our local trolls that were commenting in the comment section and we won't see them anymore. But I'm not really too concerned with that because I know that we got you guys here. So I will talk to you all later. I've covered all the topics that I wanted to cover. And anyway, you've been listening to Nick, your host. And this is Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. I do not know if this video will end when I press this end button because that live stream button on my side has disappeared, but I'm letting y'all know this is the end of the video. I'm not saying anything after this. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm ending it now.